All right, I think it started recording. All right. Hakan, the microphone is on you. Why are we here today?
Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's first academic conversation event in our society. This kind of event is like our first academic content. And today, along with me, Ezgi and Berke will help me in terms of being moderator. So now we will switch to our activity outline. Okay. Firstly, we will introduce our events, why we are here, why we do this. And then we will switch to focus on our context, which is alternative assessment in online teaching. Namely, we watched a webinar provided by IATEFL, and we have some leading questions to discuss to more open. So in this context, we kindly ask you to open your all cameras, as I see, and unmute yourself. And we have a surprise for you. That's all. And we can switch.
Okay.
Okay. First of all, we decided to create an academic atmosphere in which we focus on academic English as well as discovering the dynamics of English as a lingua franca, and at the same time, enhance academic development both in the field of ELT and education. So in the upcoming session, we will not only be discussing about ELT, maybe it can relate to a more general approach, education. And we decided to provide a myriad of academic topics which we may need in our future career. And we decided to create a collaborative environment in which all of us socialize at the same time, speak about our academic works and time efficient, just time efficient.
Okay.
Okay. Firstly, hi everyone, welcome. With this event, we will have organized a discussion session in parallel with the webinar presented by Maria Devo on Saturday, January 9th. If everyone is ready, we can start with a warm-up question first. So,
before we do, let me just tell you, if you missed the event, if you missed the webinar, it's okay. It's okay. No worries.
Yes.
Okay, the first question is, what did you have as new out of the online education? Yeah.
So what we mean with that is, since the early March, what is new for you?
Yes. How did you find the approach of the instructor, and in terms of watching archived lessons and presentation of content, also some forums, some links. So what did you find as a new?
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
Yes.
I think the newest thing in this process of online teaching and online education, actually, I think the newest one is, for me, the communication ways, the importance of the communication, the ability to reach ourselves, reach the people that we know in the face-to-face environment. However, right now we are not, we're face-to-face, but in a different way, in a different communication way. It was the newest way of communication for me, the online education process, I think.
Okay.
Thank you for your participation, Etur.
Anyone else?
Are there anyone else? Sorry.
I can say something. What was new for me was the struggle that both the students and the teachers live still. Well, because we not only struggle to participate in such lessons, but also the teachers' competence in online education was also new to us. We realized not every teacher is the same in online education. Most of them doesn't even know how to use a computer. So I think that was new to me.
Yeah, it's like my answer, pain.
Yeah, pain is new. It got a new shape actually, called online education itself. Or
Yeah.
Yes. I also agree, Melih, which is he stated that some of our instructors were more capable of than the others. And in terms of archive lessons, we are actually at this point we have some advantages related to archive lessons, but maybe some system failure or anywhere in the world can happen. So these are my opinions also. Are there anyone else?
right, Aylin? I know Swat is absent right now. You vanished.
Mirai?
Okay.
I can say something. I'm sorry, I was looking up with some material. When I see gamified section that teachers can offer the material, course material to students by making gamified, making the material gamified, I was quite shocked actually because we have been learning English since our childhood, but I haven't seen anything like that.
Mhm.
So this kind of material made me shocked.
Okay. That's a familiar sound, I know. My colleagues can see. Okay. Thank you, Aiden, actually. Let me share something new. Well, back then we had the chance to at least see ourselves in the classroom, practicing, showing what we learned, or successfully, or even in a bad way. Doesn't matter. We had the chance or potential to show what we learned. Now, all we have is a chat box that functions from time to time, sometimes lags out when our internet is terrible. And that new thing is basically we connected to online environments while we disconnected from the actual classroom, which is terrible in my opinion. So yeah, that's new. Someone. Yeah. Okay. Should I proceed, Hakan?
Okay.
Okay.
And as a both graduate student and a teacher candidate, what are the rebooting steps you took for yourself? For example, you can involve personal experience, you can relate your personal experience to the webinar or something.
So this is basically the changes you applied to yourself. Any changes since the pandemic started? You know, the change can be a bad one or good one, doesn't matter, any change.
For example, some said that from the previous talks, discussions, they said that I was lost. I got a lost connection to the lessons. Some of them we sticked more. This kind of your personal experience that you can state also.
Yeah.
I can start again.
Yeah.
If you'd like. Actually, for me, it was the way my focus is changed because back then I was more focused and more I don't know, I was ready to learn something new because I was very focused to go to school every day. I was excited to see my friends, my new friends, and my new teachers, my professors or something. I was excited back then. However, right now I lost my focus and lost my excitement to join the classes because I have no real connection with the people that's presented in the I don't know, in the chat box or something. They are not able to reach very quickly as we do in the face-to-face communication. So I lost my focus. I think it was a big change for me. I hope that I can gain my focus and my excitement again for the online education and
Yeah.
the whole process.
Yeah. I think I can relate to that. You know, friends,
Yeah.
the actual friends beyond the
Actually,
screen.
yes, it is very stressful that you cannot able to see your friends in the classroom environment, because they give you the excitement to listen to the lesson. In my opinion, when you see your friend commenting on something, you feel that yes, I have friends and they're commenting on something and I can join them, and you see their faces and you feel the excitement to join the lesson. Right now it's very hard to see their excitement in order to reboost yourself, you know.
Yeah, not even
It's
just.
like,
Yeah,
okay.
sorry.
Yeah, this no, sorry. You can go. Okay. It's like a months ago we can just like, oh, I have a reason to good things to wake up. It's like friends, face-to-face education.
Yes.
But now, there is nothing to do, just gaming or online education
Yes.
and some teachers' classes, maybe online classes. Oh, that's bad, but yeah, I know that the feeling.
Yeah.
Yes. And I was thinking before going to the classroom, I was like, okay, after the class, we can go somewhere new, somewhere different. We can just hang around after the classroom. But now we just go to the lesson and we out the lesson and we just sit in front of the computer and just wait for our that to come.
Yeah.
Names, only names you see on the
Yeah.
chat box.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
I will,
Sure.
okay, okay.
Yeah, I was just going to say, yeah, that's all.
Okay.
To be honest, I wasn't expecting a meeting, a GELTS meeting to not go to the dark side.
That's gonna be happening soon.
Yes, unfortunately, every time we catch that feeling.
All right, so I see some new people coming in. If you want to answer, just jump into the discussion. No waiting. That's the rule. Just whenever you like. Okay. And now suddenly it goes silent.
I kind of missed the question.
The question is on my
On the
screen.
screen. Yeah.
Yes.
It is about what you change about yourself since the pandemic started, basically. Good or bad,
That's a good
doesn't matter.
question. Well, I started to do some sport.
Yeah.
That's a change. And funnily enough, I started to spend less time on my computer
Okay.
because I used to spend much more before I was having an online education. But now that everything is online, my homework, my lessons, I tend to escape from the computer and just lie down on the bed and just as you said, just wait day to pass, that to come. That's all.
May I continue, guys?
Yes,
What
Nurel.
have you done?
Okay.
Okay. Firstly, I would like to say that I lost my motivation. The biggest problem is that I think right now, because everything is like a vicious circle, and I'm sleeping, I'm attending the lectures, I'm doing my homework, and everything repeats every day. Also, participating in online classes making me sick right now. I don't want to do it anymore. I just want to go to school and meet my friends and see my teacher's face. I would like to say that. Thank you for listening.
Yeah.
Thank you for your participation.
Thank you, Nurel.
You're welcome.
I think the lack of motivation is something that we can all relate ourselves.
Yeah.
Honestly, is there someone that can say, hey, I'm really motivated to study at home? I mean, if there is, I really want to clap you. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Me
just
It's a
not,
too.
good job, a hard job, I think,
yeah.
these
I mean,
days.
Yes.
that would be a miracle, honestly.
Yeah.
Yes. I would like to comment on this question also. Actually, the change I made about my note-taking skills, Actually, before in the traditional way, face to face, we normally write paper. But now I see now that we look on the screen, we write. I stick more to the computer, and I decided to take my notes in online form. Like I don't want to give you a name, but some from platforms we use. This is my change, the voting steps in terms of a giant leap for me. It was.
Yes, actually, it is a big change. I think. I'm sorry, Berke, again. You keep being interrupted by everyone.
It's fine.
No, please go on.
I was just gonna ask, Hakan, did it help you to change your note-taking way? Did it become faster?
Actually, gradually, I become accustomed, and for some methods, for example, kernel method, I know about a note-taking system that you write the keywords from the left and questions about the right, and you have a quick summary about what you learned. Thanks to these kind of efficient methods, to some extent, I can say that it was quite easy or efficient for me.
Okay. So, any rebooting ideas?
I wanted to say something else about the thing you said earlier, Berke.
Okay.
To be honest, I believe that online education really motivated me, because I believe I said it before. I'm really an introvert person, and I'm really shy around people most of the time, especially people that I don't know previously. So when I was first studying engineering, way before, like I wasn't going to the school at all because I was too shy and too tired to even leave the home. But in online education, I just need to push myself to either get up from my bed and sit on my computer, or I can even don't leave my bed. I can open the lesson on my phone, and I can just watch lessons. So that's really motivated me to take more classes and listen to the classes a bit more, actually.
Okay, you got me surprised, not gonna lie. Okay. So it seems there were ways to motivate yourself. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I can also add something.
Yeah.
I had to change my study environment, actually. Well, normally I study at the school. I mean, I do all my homework, all my discussions, and etc. All the things at school, and don't leave anything to home or my dorm room, etc. So I had to change my study environment, which was quite hard. Well, right now the whole day I just sit at my desk, and there's next to me I forgot its English, calorifer.
Okay.
And I stand on it and do everything at the computer whole day. So I had to change it. It helped actually, but it was quite hard because doing something quite different to another something, to quite the opposite of it, was quite hard, but it helped actually. Yes, radiator.
Yes.
Thanks, by the way.
Okay.
Actually, I agree totally with you. And right now, I'm thinking that I think with most of them in here will agree with me. Our room became the home office for us.
Yeah.
I feel like when I get up on my bed and I sit on my desk, and I feel like right now I'm in office. I left my bed, and when it becomes night, I go my bed, and then again the same routine every day.
The first thing when I woke up and I say this my computer, and the last thing that I see is again my computer.
Your computer's face.
Yes.
Yes.
I just live with my computer.
Yeah, I think everyone got a new best friend since the pandemic started.
New office.
It's this beautiful screen, giant screen. Yeah.
Zoom, Discord.
Yeah. Perculus, which is amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
LMS.
Yeah. Uh, uh, okay. Any rebooting ideas? You know, I wasn't expecting this many positive comments. So yeah, surprising. That's a good way, Yasin. Yeah.
It's still a screen, Yasin.
Yeah, it's just a different screen. But yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's a
think
smaller one.
yeah, the
The
smaller one.
smaller one.
Okay. Hakan, should we proceed into the second question?
Okay, we can proceed.
Okay, let's go.
Now
Let's go. Oh,
it
no.
is
Okay.
your
Not that fast.
it is your turn, Berke.
Okay, so this part needs some explanations before we get into the question. So in the webinar, Maria, mentioned about some web tools that can assist our teaching and learning environment. So you see some of these tools on your screen. For an example, Kahoot is possibly one of the most popular ones, you know, creating online quizzes, competition, everyone guessing, etc. Teacher made is basically you uploading the questions and then they suddenly become online exams. Interesting. And there are lots of other web tools. Let me show you the others. Google Forms is something we are very familiar, if especially if
Yeah.
you sign up for the event. Edmodo, for example, if you are the first class, our teachers might have shown you that. And there are lots of examples for web tools that can help you have a better time behind your screen, you know, at least to some extent. So the question is, okay, there are still more applications. Book Creator is something that I can recommend you. It's basically you creating an online book for your students, which
I
is,
was going to ask them. I asked that.
yeah, I've forgotten all of them do, but Book Creator is basically stuck in my mind. Basically, you can create an online book. Yeah. So you can upload PowerPoints to a page. You can add notes. It's basically a massive interactive online book. Yeah. Okay, I got a comment. Padlet is amazing. Yeah. Yasim, would you like to talk about Padlet maybe quickly?
Okay, Padlet is like a brain spits. So whenever I have new ideas, I have a Padlet folder called all my ideas. So whenever I get inspired from like looking at the pictures, seeing some things, or listening to some songs, I paste them there. So whenever I come back to Padlet, that folder, I can have a renewed memory. I can have a conscious deja vu of that moment. So my opinions become more clearer.
Yeah. So if you basically get an idea and just, spit it on to the page. All right. So the question is, let's get to the main part of the question. What do you think about some web tools that I told you about? Have you, as a pre-service teacher, most of you, as far as I can see, use any of these tools as a result of new sharing culture? So let me mention about sharing culture. It is basically, since we are stuck at home, we are sharing so many sources. When we get an assignment, we can go ahead and ask our friend, can we find a source to do this assignment? Hojam gave this assignment to us. Can we find a source? That kind of a thing. We are basically sharing everything we have, like this right now. So, have you ever used any of these in terms of sharing culture, or what do you think about them? Let's hear your opinions. Are they fun? Are they boring? Are they efficient or inefficient?
Again, I'm going to jump into.
Okay.
I feel like
Oh.
if I'm stay too silent too long, I feel like I'm going to just bump, just like a bump.
Okay.
And in my opinion, they are a very good way in view of catching the attention of the students, because as we know and accept the opinion of, they are what bees Nazlı Hoca
Digital.
was
Digital bees.
Digital bees. Yes, our students will be the digital bees, and I believe that these kind of applications will attract their attention in the course of the lesson, or outside the lesson, or before the lesson. and I believe that they are very creative tools, which actually the book reader, I was very attracted to that application because I think it's very creative application, and I am waiting for I don't know, investigate the application. I think it's a very good application. Yeah, it's
Okay.
good.
Anyone else? Most of the second classes probably use them as a part of their assignments.
Yeah.
So I think I know the answer, but I'm curious about the prep class students and the freshmen. Have you ever used any of these before? Excluding Kahoot, of course. That's probably common.
Yeah.
Padlet, for an example. Or there are so many tools that I can't remember right now. Okay, I assume someone is typing right now, so I'm gonna wait for an answer. But before you use Kahoot, okay. Yeah, that's very common, as I said. Anything else though? Anything new? Mentimeter, yeah. Oh, for reading lessons. Quiz. Okay, now it's getting richer, finally. A Mentimeter is probably used for the feedback sessions at the end of the day, which is great,
Yeah.
honestly. We might do the same soon. Who knows?
I would like to comment on this question.
Oh,
Also, yeah.
consists general. Yeah, basically.
Yeah. We use Mentimeter. Actually, one of my friends asked me to send some Web 2.0 tools about, for example, I sent Mentimeter about to use in his presentation, and also I believe their efficacy of these tools when they properly designed by looking at some criteria, of course, color, format, rewriting keywords, not the whole paper. Yeah, that was my idea.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Who else wants to share their experience with, I don't know, these tools?
I could go on. Aside from the Google Forms, there are also Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Slides that are interactive. So due to my volunteering work, I do a lot of creating forms, like holding sheets and all that kind of stuff. So those interactive stuff really helps me because I can share with my other colleagues and they can comment on it, they can edit it. And the Google Drive, so like when you combine it all together, it's a really nice um, environment, ambience that we can share and comment and grow together.
Yeah, okay.
That was
Have you used them out of, business purposes as well, for teaching, let's say?
definitely like when we did the what was the Dünya İngilizceleri ve Kültürleri.
Yeah.
That's like presentation. We worked with Yasser and we worked on Google Slides so that it could be better and it could be edited. So
Okay.
it's a really nice way because we don't get to hang out that much and we can't do like Yasser, do you want me to change that? Like we can do that.
Okay. All right. Anyone else want to share their opinions or experience? I don't know. Or should I get into another question? Silence is usually the answer. Millie, yes, break the
Yes.
silence.
Well, we also used Google Slides and Google Docs. It's very useful actually for crowd. Also, in the following days, we will use Google Docs to collect many different home assignments
Yeah.
and compile all of them into one document to send them later. That's also a quite good way to use. I might actually suggest everyone in here.
Yeah.
Also, the getting feedback is more easier I think, when we use them. Yes.
Yeah, I think, yeah, feedback sessions are amazing to do on Google Docs. Can anyone disagree on that? Maybe after the recording. Not now. All right. Anyone else want to share something? Okay, I keep getting. Oh, okay, I'm gonna move on. Please proceed with the question. I'm having a problem here. Okay.
Okay. As mentioned in the webinar, what do you think about learners being integrated into the assessment process? You know, Maria mentioned that if they integrated into the assessment process, they feel more secure and they feel that they have a more rapport with the teacher and they will be more motivated. So what do you think about this notion? And also you can relate your experiences. Maybe did you have been integrated into learning assessments in your past education? Yes, I mean that.
Let me paraphrase that real quick. Student is in the process of creating an exam. What do you think about it? So you are creating your own exam. Does it bring any questions to you? How do you feel creating your own exam?
Actually, that was never a foreign concept to me. In middle school, primary school, even high school, we helped our teachers create the exams.
Mhm.
So I was actually surprised when I got to university that other people didn't, because that was all I knew. Like for example, the most prominent memory I have is the sixth grade like math exam. We created like 3 questions per students, and the top 20 was selected and was on the official exam, which is super fun because we could collaborate on the exam so that we can like arrange what the majority knew and leave out what the minority majority didn't know.
Hmm.
Other than that, as Maria mentioned, it's a really good way to reduce stress because we are literally creating the exam. So yeah, it was a good way. It was a good practice. The other thing I want to mention, and what I thought the question asked in the first place was using assessment in the middle of the class and in the beginning of the class. um was that not the question, and was that not the integrating learning into the process?
Now you get me confused.
Yeah.
Like what I remember Maria saying, uh, integrating students, learners into the process mean, oh yeah, now when I think at last I
Also, also to elaborate, I want to mention that
Hakan,
two
We
additional
have
ways.
less than 1 minute.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I'm gonna
Oh.
switch to Turkish here. Arkadaşlar
Okay.
aynı linkten yine başlatacağım. Yine tıklayıp gelebilirsiniz. 40 dakika olduğu için özür dilerim. Hani yapabileceğim bir şey yok. Aynı linkten yine
Aynen.
katılım yapın. Ben aynı toplantıyı başlatacağım. O yüzden hemen şimdi bitiriyorum. İkinci parta geçelim. Umarım yeter 40 dakikada. Orada da
Yeter inşallah.
bekliyorum sizi. Çayınızı kahvenizi alın. Kamera kapalı olsa bile için. Sorun değil. Konuşalım. Şimdi hemen başlatıyorum. Ama ekran paylaşımı nasıl? Buradan.
Going to say something and I wait for him.
I don't want to be the first person speaking
Yes,
because I
yes.
feel like I always speak too much.
Yes, me too.
Just dive in.
Okay,
I
I
just
can
completely
kind
relate
of got
you.
it.
Thank you.
I kind of dropped for a while, so I can return with an answer.
Yes, please save us from this being first one.
Well, to be honest, I believe that there definitely are advantages and disadvantages to that situation. Online assessment and online education. Like I said, I'm really enjoying it so far. it was really beneficial for me at least. But when you think about it, it has too many disadvantages as well, because if you don't get your assessments, you sorry, not assessments, assignments. If you get exams, just like Hakan said in an earlier discussion we had, it's much easier to cheat. Even though teachers can work around that, teachers can make exams that is not isn't able to cheat it. And I don't think that students are obligated to cheat. They shouldn't be cheating on an exams, because they are here to learn, not just get a degree. What will you do with a degree if you don't know what to do in that field when you graduate? That's my opinion, at least. So, in my opinion, online education's biggest disadvantage is right now our country, like most countries, are getting university graduates, but they are not experts in their field, because they were a product of online education. And the sad part is they were a part of an experiment of online education, so it wasn't complete, and it wasn't correctly built. So I believe that's the biggest disadvantage of online education at this point of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we are like a structure being built, but how strong the structure is questionable.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Thank you.
To add on what Suat said, like countries like Turkey and America had at least some level of open education system built, but other third world countries,
yeah,
right? Okay. Third world countries, they don't have that. So what are they going to do? And like about the cheating thing, some universities oblige their students to sign an honor code. Even like when I study courses on Coursera, I have to sign an honor code that I will not cheat. I will not, like, I don't know, intihal etmek. Yeah.
Plagiarism. Yeah.
Yeah, I will not plagiarize. So I sign that, and if there's any evidence against it, all my credentials are gone. So I think what Turkey should have done at the beginning was that to make us sign something that so that we can feel obliged to abide it. But also, the industry is shifting to a way that what is the most efficient way is the correct way. So, like, if you allow your students to cheat by making cheap questions or conducting cheap assessment strategies, that's your fault. That's not students' fault, because cheating in those exams is more efficient than the learning the material.
That's also another great point. Move.
Yeah, I think so.
Thank you.
That was all.
Okay.
I kind of want to add something to that, just because it was right before, right after what I said. I totally agree with that. Like, I'm also studying a cookery class in open education, and whenever I take an exam, all the questions are just like copy and paste questions from the PDFs that teachers share. So teachers are very lazy in that part as well. And the sad part is people feel they are obliged to cheat, because if they don't, people will go past them and they will just get like 80 or 70 while everyone gets 90. So they will be way under the bell curve because of that cheap question system. Like Yasin said, you feel cheated if you don't cheat in that exam. So
Yes.
it's it's really a big problem in my opinion.
Okay. Thank you, Suat. That was amazing. Of
May I go on?
course, like you are the moderator, of course.
Actually, this kind of assessment is depend on the type of assessment, whether it is formative or summative. For example, when in formative assessments, sometimes for it is for assessments like for learning, and it can have some benefits. But when you have summative assessment that ends the class, 1 or 2 exams that have the most detailed one, and maybe as Yasin stated, you had different lack of strategies that you use. It is of course a teacher's fault, and also I want to state that it can depend on the assessment type from my point of view.
Okay, that's another good viewpoint.
Thank you.
We have weekly assignments, and if they were effective and they did not affect our scores, I think they're good. Because you can learn from them about the lesson.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I'm not sure if giving an example from a lesson we have would be appropriate, but I'm not going to name the lesson. Maybe that helps. So in one of our lessons, my colleagues would probably guess, we have weekly assignments to progress one by one. So I think that's extremely beneficial. For example, despite being an online one, we can actually track progress, which is also something Maria mentions continuously. We go one by one, we produce what we learned, not entirely, but from scratch, from nothing to something. So I think that really helps as an online assignment. I don't know. You
are the first, Yasin. I give my regards to you.
Thank you, Betil. I don't necessarily agree with Berke on this issue.
Okay.
Because I feel like when I get constantly assessed, I lose motivation. Like I don't want to do that.
Yeah,
I don't want to get constantly assessed, because if I am, then how can I really look at my progress? Like when you get constantly assessed, it's like looking at the mirror every day.
Yes.
You don't notice the changes.
Hmm.
But if they are like spread throughout the semester, then you can see real progress. That's my take on that.
Actually, in that point, I was going to say something. In the Maria's presentation, she mentioned about my photo self-assessment. I don't know if you remember that. She said that you show a photo picture to the students, and they are discussed the same picture throughout the year, 5 times or 8 times in a year. I don't know how many times, but I believe that in a way that you see something not weekly, but like throughout the year, as Yasin said, it would be more beneficial, I think, because when you have something weekly, you feel that, I have to do that, because in the Monday she's going to give a grades, and I have to do that. You feel like it's not your progress, but it's a have to situation for you, not a progress kind of situation, but it's like I have to do that. You force yourself to do the assignment, and you lose concentration. I feel like
that's another aspect.
But writing a critical review in a year, isn't it weird?
Okay, the lesson is
can you repeat?
the lesson is out, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, go ahead. It's fine. It's fine.
I didn't get what I said. Sorry, guys. But But when I heard something critical review, I just lost my concentration, you know. You get that, you know.
Ezgi, would you like to repeat what you said?
It's all right if you don't. I feel you, all right. I feel you guys.
Okay.
Okay, Suat, I see your hand rising. Okay,
Yes.
let me lower your hand.
I want to show that we can raise hands as well, rather than.
Oh, thank
Okay.
you. Yes, we're traditional.
Well, I realized that I have so many things to say about this situation. I want to say something else. Like, I agree with Yasin. I don't like being assessed every week, and sometimes every week, couple of times. You need to be doing like 3 things every week, and they all will be assessed. So you need to be doing all of them, and you feel that, in my opinion, the work you had on them goes to waste, because you can spend so much time on every assignment, and they all end up giving you like 2 points, 3 points in the final assessment process. So I believe that's a bit kills for me. But I disagree with the direct opposite. Like, for example, one of my teachers made the assignment for the midterm. He gave us a midterm assignment, and he still didn't say anything about the grades, and he said that he will be giving out the grades with the final assignment. So I believe that's not a valid option as well, because if you don't see your progress, how can you improve yourself for the finals? Because if I don't get my if I don't see my grade, if I don't know my grade from midterm point, how can I try to improve myself if I don't know even if I'm bad or good in that department? So I believe both extremes are kind of motivation killer for the students, in my opinion, at least.
Okay, that was a very lieutenant answer. Just in the middle ground. Nice. Okay. If anyone
That's exactly what I say.
If anyone wants to add on to what Suat said or add something new, I don't know, just
about getting assessed in every week or weekly. In the freshman year, I totally agree with Yasin and Suat, but now I'm not.
Does it mean you agree with me? Do I
Yes.
finally have a supporter? Thank you. I felt so alone.
I'm on your side.
Okay, anyone else wants to agree with me?
Ezgi, would you like to elaborate on why
Oh,
you
no.
not agree?
I think we all get that.
no.
Why?
I just learned from the assignments now, so I like that. I like them. I want more. If they do not affect my score.
Yeah, there's that tiny factor, score. Does it affect my score? Yeah. Also, Aylin also mentioned something important. Sometimes even instructors are perplexed. I think that's the pronunciation with the content. Yeah. Then the problem is definitely not on our side. That's another new level.
Yes, I think the problem is not always the
Students.
It's like mutual stuff, you know? We're not always the problematic one.
Yeah. I mean, I think we can all agree, not a teacher can be a good model and also a bad model at the same time. So yeah, such a different word. Yeah. Anyone else wants to agree? I mean, add on to this question.
agree with me?
Yeah.
Agree with me?
Okay. Okay, I guess not. What Suat did was actually a good idea. If you want to just talk, and if there are multiple people talking at the same time, you can raise your hand. I didn't know that could do the job. It seems it does. So yeah. Okay, the next question goes to, who does it go to?
Yeah.
Actually, Ezgi will first. Yes, Ezgi, go on, please.
Yes, okay. I will talk a little more comprehensively about a method that mentioned by Yasin in the first part of the event, the question formulation technique. The question formulation technique is an evidence-based strategy that teaches all students how to ask questions about primary sources. If we examine it step by step, like Maria, also you can see it on the screen. First, students ask many questions as they can. They should not stop, judge, or discuss or answer any questions. And then they should write down every question as stated. Also, they need to change statement into a question. And then you can go back here. Students choose 2 of the questions they find important. As a final, the teacher chooses 10 questions from the question written as homework, apart from the 2 questions chosen by the students.
Okay.
So the question is...
I think we should give an example real quick. So Maria, do you remember her example from, about the Greek language?
I'm sorry.
Okay, it's fine. It's like she said in a
hardest language to learn.
Yeah, she basically says Greek is the hardest language in the world to learn.
Oh, yeah.
That's a statement. Then the student takes it, starts asking questions, then they turn this statement into a question. Is Greek the hardest language to learn in the world? And that's basically how it goes. Statements turned into questions, basically. So the question.
Okay. What do you think about the question formulating technique presented by Maria DeVoe? What implication it can have on learners?
I'm gonna go first this time. If that's okay for you, Betül.
Okay, go on, please.
Yes, please.
So normally teachers in a lesson present something, they talk about it, they discuss it with their students if it's possible, then they expect their students to memorize the information and, if possible, have further implications, discussions, whatever. Like, for an example, what is this bottle made of? What is a bottle? Discussions such as these. So when you, instead of just, writing all the information on the board or reading it on the paper, I think this can enhance students' ability to, think about the subject. Instead of just, having all the importance on the teacher shares his or her position with the student. So I think it's better way to learn a subject. I'm not only teaching the subject, we are all learning and teaching the subject together. Yeah. Basically.
Yes, actually, I agree with you in the
Thank you.
in the point that when you ask questions to the students or they ask questions to themselves, they become a deep thinker, They start to think like, I should be having much more question than the other people. Maybe they have a, I don't know, race between each other, among each other actually, and they maybe become more motivated in order to find a more interesting question or something, and they become like, okay, I have to find a question right now, and it should be different than the other, I don't know, different than the Aisha or Mehmet, and they become more motivated to find something new that maybe we haven't mentioned in the lesson.
Yeah.
I would like to build up on what you said, Betül. Also, I think these kind of techniques, question formulating technique, not also integrating students into the homework or other things. I think these can also foster their critical thinking skills to some extent. For example, when they think that when they write a question, they can question, this is a question that I really want to ask, or does it aims to the purpose of the context? So via these kind of questions, as well as other benefits that all of us mentioned, Betul mentioned, other friends mentioned, it can also foster their critical thinking skills.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, in the way, I think we can observe their progress, what they know, what they don't know, and by looking at the questions they ask to each other, or they presented each other, we as teachers can observe their knowledge, background knowledge, or their knowledge level in the lesson.
Readiness, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can evaluate, we can progress, we can observe the students.
Okay.
Thank you, Betty.
Swat, I see your hand. Let's go.
Thank you, thank you. I like this feature, to be honest. Well, I do believe that it's really a good technique in teaching, because normally when you just teach something, teach facts that wouldn't be made into questions, people tend to students tend to be reluctant to ask questions if they don't understand the subject, because they feel like they will be mocked by the class, maybe, or would be belittled by the teacher, maybe. I don't know the exact reason, but students might be reluctant to ask something, but if you go like this, and if you make the question asking part part of the lesson, I believe that asking a question on a part that you don't understand and you want to examine a bit more would be much easier. So
Yeah.
I believe that it's really a nice technique in teaching.
Okay.
Thank you
Can
for
I ask
your
something?
Yes.
You all, can we use it as a scoring way, do you think? Or you just use it for I don't know, maybe an icebreaker, or just a way to enjoy or something, or you take it seriously and you score them in this technique, with this technique actually?
That's really a nice question.
If the questions are good, why not?
Eating nuts, for an example.
I think not as well, because if you assess them in that department, it would turn into asking questions that you believe that would be a good question, rather than asking something that you are curious about. So I believe it would kill the purpose of encouraging students to ask you questions.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Also, I believe it will depend on the context. Sorry, Yas, I'm gonna let you talk in a second. Like, the richer the context gets, I think the more possible answers a teacher can receive. So I think it depends on the context most of the time. But prove me wrong, I'm not a
Yes.
professional.
I think that we do not have to have students that are like high schoolers or like teenagers and stuff. So, implementing this technique with primary school students and middle school students is really helpful, because we don't need a concrete answer or a concrete question every time. The curriculum applied on those levels are mostly based on values and like concepts, so they don't really study stuff that are concrete or stuff that are uh, unchangeable, not changeable.
Yeah.
So using these would be really helpful. And aside that, using these with like peer assessments, like you ask some question that comes to mind to your friend, and your friend ask questions and blah blah blah. And if you get some reports on this, it would be really cool, because you are a teaching the asking students to think in high order levels, and b the answering students is learning with the questions,
Yeah.
like how we learn stuff by like solving tests in mathematics,
Hmm.
because like you don't understand mathematics with reading the subjects. You understand them by solving problems.
Hmm.
That's all.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
another aspect. Also, I want to state that as Bitul asked, depending on, as you mentioned, context, the level of learners, we can use it to some extent in order to, how can I say, score them, because I think that their way of asking questions shows that they are able to do the topic, or they learned the topic, I think.
The seriousness of the questions can
Yes.
change the way of
Yeah.
scoring. Yeah.
Definitely. Or anyone
By
else?
the way, Millie raised his
Oh,
hand.
sorry,
Sorry,
Millie.
by the way.
Okay, I'm blind. There you go.
I think as an answer to Betul's question, with relation to what asked in the chat box, agree or just fit one another. I think these questions, question formulating technique, we can use it in performance notes. As far as I believe every one of you familiar with how in high school we had two performance notes,
Yeah.
And teachers would grade them according to how we behaved in class. Well, if uh, according to the degree of the question and the answers of the students, I mean how creative they are, you can grade them, but they shouldn't know about it.
As a
They
performance way, right?
yes,
Yes, I
yes,
think
because
it's a good way.
the more they think about it, the deeper the question will get, and the better the answers they will give.
Mhm.
So you can grade them as performance notes in the classroom. I
You
think
say
that is the best way to use the questions in the class
yes.
to
By
grade.
observing, you say that, right?
Yes, by observing.
Mhm. I
But the
think it's a
students
good
shouldn't
point.
know about it, because when they know, they will lose the relaxation point
Mhm.
in the whole process.
It should be natural.
Yeah,
Yes, it should be natural.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Millie.
Okay, anyone
I
else
totally agree as well.
wanna comment on this question formulating technique? Okay, we have somehow finished our time again, so I think we have time for one more question. Okay.
Yes, from me. The point is here in this question, as a future teacher candidate, we are all as pre-service teacher. How can you benefit from learners asking what they learned from your online assessments, or the day that the lesson that they had? For example, Maria presented a way that she called it WILT, like what did I learn today?
Mhm.
So what do you think about them? How can you benefit from that question, that technique? What I mean is,
Yes.
Betul, where are you?
Okay. I'm always here, and I wait for Yasin every time. I just look at him when he's going to speak. I just wait for him. Actually, she mentioned something about the polls, I think,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
and by taking the I don't know, the questions she asked, what did you learn about today? Actually, it's a very good way, because when you see their answers and or maybe the questions, you can uh, build your plan for the upcoming lesson, and it's a very beneficial way for us to get their ideas about what we did today, actually, in order to make ourselves prepared for the upcoming lessons. What should I give to them, or what could I give to them? Yeah, these are my opinions. It's a good way for planning our next lessons.
We can kind of see what's missing, what's correct.
Yes, Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes,
What
what
they
worked
know, what they
well.
don't know, we can observe again what their background knowledge, as I mentioned before.
Yeah.
Yes, the techniques used,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
example.
totally.
Yeah, I agree with you, Betül.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yasin, please come.
Um, I don't necessarily agree with
Yes, let's go.
both. Because, like, let's imagine a scenario where the majority, like 70%, click the option that I didn't learn anything today at the end of the class. What are you going to do? My proposal for this issue would be to make these polls at the middle of the class so that we can, like, restart or
Reboot.
implement some other strategies or those kind of stuff. But if they are if these polls are used at the end, then we don't have a chance to restart or redo the lesson that week.
In that point, we can ask open-ended questions. In what topic you have struggled with, maybe?
But
What
wouldn't it be better if we use those questions while we were learning that topic so
in the
that
course of the lesson,
everyone
you
can
mean?
follow till
Yeah,
the
yeah,
end?
yeah. It's a very good way. Maybe you ask these polls at the end of the semester in order to
Then
catch
how
the.
are we going to rebuild
No,
the
no,
semester?
no. You will have time to think on it when you're on holiday, when you're on break. You know.
But okay, better. Um, let's
Just
say
1 minute.
let's say that you didn't learn the subjects in the second week and the semester is 14 weeks. Then you
Mhm.
are waiting for 12 weeks to let the teacher know you
No,
didn't
I,
learn the
I
subject.
didn't mean that. I agree with you. Asking in the middle of the class is a very good way. Ay, yeah, yes. I agree with
That's
you.
why I
I
said, like, let's do at the middle of the
Yes,
class.
I agree with you. It's a very good
Okay,
way. I just
quick pause
okay.
because 15
Uh,
seconds remaining.
Okay.
Another part?
Last part, hopefully, because
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
9:20. So we are gonna have our final part of the event. Okay, let's stick together. 14 people. That's epic. Let's come together again.
Again, same link?
Okay.
Yeah,
Or-
same
Yes.
link. And it's somehow not dying.
Didn't understand, and Ezgi did.
Okay.
Ezgi has to wait for 20 minutes, but because Yasin knew the stuff already, he had to wait 4 years for them to finish.
Oh, that's
We have to find a middle way so both parties can
yeah.
enjoy the
Okay.
class. So,
Like
like,
as
Ezgi
a
knew.
feature.
Yeah, Ezgi knew. But did Ezgi knew this other feature that wasn't mentioned in the first take?
Okay.
We have to find little bits and bots so that we can enrich the lesson.
Oh, okay. How optimistic you are.
I mean, fakirin ekmeği umuttur.
Fakirin ekmeğidir. Evet.
Yeah,
I see.
that's my take on that.
Actually, in the
Got
point where I
you.
said, I'm sorry, where I said we can wait for the semester, I was saying it as a teacher. We can wait for the semester in order to think for our planning for the upcoming years. Did you get that? For example, you have asked questions to your students, and there are some questions that are continuously asked, and in the point you start to think that, oh, there's a problem with the topic, so I can fix that in my upcoming years as a teacher. That was my point, actually. And I agree with you in the point that you say we can ask questions in the middle of the lesson. Yes, we should, because we should take their responses in the course of the lesson in order to make ourselves prepared for their at the end of our classroom. You get that? It was my point, actually. I was too excited to make myself clear.
Yes.
Okay, now it's more clear.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
And the winner is no one.
Yes.
And also, I want to say that we have all different views, and it is near the end of the session. I am pleased to see that all different views of you.
Yeah.
Thank you for this kind of discussion.
Also, it seems we have lost some people during the process.
Yes.
Ben vuruldum dostlar, siz devam.
Some 6 people.
I
Not
mean,
some.
every war needs some sacrifice.
Yeah, that's correct. Actually, it is very fun to just have arguments over some topics. I feel that we still have connection, right? Yasin, I see your smile. I'm smiling right now, but I cannot show myself.
I feel
Very
like
fun.
there's a debate on the horizon. Who knows?
Yes,
Possible debate.
please.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm afraid to ask, but anyone else that wants to add into this question, excluding Yasin.
Yeah.
Yasin,
Just
please stop.
Any other ideas or other conflicts with each other?
Mirai, we have yet to hear your voice this night. I'm going to
I
pretend.
mean, it's not that I'm shy about speaking, but I don't have an opinion on this. I need to think about this first and then speak. But
Okay.
I don't actually bother to think about this. I don't know why. I'm going to become a teacher. I think it's early for me to think about this, even though I attended the webinar. That's why I haven't spoken on now.
Okay. Oh. Yeah. Okay.
Yasin, the way you sit and the way your background is, you look like a saint person.
Yeah.
All right. Let's not have another session. So I'm gonna proceed.
Yes. Now it's Ezgi's turn.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Games. According to Maria, games like using as an education tool, such as Kahoot, Quizalize, can be effective in the teaching process, or whether homework is effective or not, and in the language learning process. In short, just learning process. So, do you agree or disagree the notion that assessment via game is learner-centered or motivating and it contributes language development?
Minecraft school.
Thank God you cannot see my face right now. I am very glad that you cannot see it.
Okay.
Can I start again?
Sure.
Actually, the sentence that Maria used in the course of her presentation, she said that with the games, learners are centered and they are motivated in the classroom atmosphere.
Yes.
And I totally agree with that opinion and this sentence, because when you give games to the students, especially the young learners, they just lost their minds and they think that we're playing games. We're not learning something. We're just playing games, and they become motivated to learn. So I think it's contributes a language development, because they don't know they are learning. They think that they're playing games.
Like people, yeah.
They're not aware of the fact that they're learning. They're just having fun in the course of learning. I believe I made myself clear.
Yeah. So you say like peripheral learning, yanal öğrenme, Like,
Yes, I think
see.
it was the word. Yeah.
I
Okay,
agree with you in that context.
I'm going to ask a question, and this goes to everyone, not just Betül. What would be the golden principle while playing these games in order not to say ipin ucu kaçtı? So there's no more benefit for my students anymore. What will be the golden principle to prevent
I think
that?
there should be rules
Hmm.
for game. Specific rules for specific games.
Okay.
Yeah.
Berke, can I ask a question about the question?
Yes, question section. Let's go.
When you say games, are you saying games in serious games designed for learning, or games that are not specifically created for learning but we still can use for learning?
Now I would need an example for both of these categories, honestly.
Okay, the serious games would be an example would be what Maria showed, like using balloons.
Word
Uh,
wall. It is.
yes, but the games that are not designed for game learning but are still used for gaming learning would be like World of Warcraft, where
Oh,
you can I don't know, join chats
okay.
and speak English or write in English with other people.
Like Town of Salem. The best game to
Sure.
lie to each other. Yeah. Now I'm talking about serious games, but now since you brought it up, why don't we discuss both of them? Okay.
I think at least this is what I plan to do, to be a teacher, because like an average person that is like dilci in high school or in university, whoever you ask, oh, where did you learn English? Majority of them would say by
While
playing
gaming.
games.
Same.
So like if you just let them be, they will learn eventually.
Yeah.
And if those learnings are supplemented with structural learning supported by the teacher, it
Yeah.
would be even more fruitful. So just let them be, but supplement them in the process.
What if they get exposed to the unusual or let's say negative content though in these games?
I mean, we use or we teach English to students to make them free or to allow them to communicate in the real world, and real world is full of those unwanted toxic stuff. So
Yeah.
I don't think that any exposure to that thing would negatively affect them.
Okay.
Ask something on that point. If yes, as long as the toxic knowledge they learn throughout the games they played outside the classroom doesn't affect their performance and their behaviors to their friends, I think it's all right, because even in Turkish we have toxic knowledge,
Yeah.
you know. Yeah, even in Turkish, even every language has them.
Yeah.
And
May I ask a question, Betül?
yes, please.
Oh.
Oh boy.
Tamam, hatırladım. Let's create a hypothetical situation. For example, one of your students is so disrespectful, they don't care about you, but their English is perfect.
Okay.
And they learned both of those traits, having perfect English and being bad, from those games. Would you A, still allow them to play, and B, would you give them the perfect score for their perfect English?
Oh, it's a very good question. Actually, in the assessment part, I would assess him or her cool with his or her friends, because I am scoring the perfect performance of this student. not the bad behaviors to me. Okay,
Mhm.
I am scoring his or her performance on the language. But if it is too distracting in the classroom environment, I could score him a little lower in the performance. I don't know, performance notes, because it's related to his behaviors for other students in the classroom. If it's too distracting, and if it distracts me while I am doing my lesson, giving my lecture to other students, I would maybe speak outside the classroom personally and ask him, you shouldn't do that. It is distracting for your friends and for me. And I would politely warn him outside the classroom, but not in the classroom, in front of the friends of him, because it could be heartbreaking. So outside the classroom, I could warn him about his behaviors. And maybe I could play the game, the same game,
Mhm.
in order to find the toxic wording or language. And I don't know, I could find a way, not just you are, I wouldn't prohibit for him to play the game, because it's his life. I cannot control it. But maybe I could warn him.
Ooh.
I talked a lot. I'm sorry.
No, it's a good. I think you have very important names to touch, speak,
Yeah.
and I quite agree with you.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
You're
Because I
welcome.
lived that
You
situation, you know.
always agree with her.
Someone present a point that Hakan will not agree. Now. Oh, man, this is an amazing question, honestly. What we learn says it should be done privately unless it's big, like you need to just, basically go and stop the student. But unless it's the minor details that, I don't know, snowball into
Yeah.
something big, which is like from nothing to something, again, I think that should be made private.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's
because it's
can one of my board members not this down for me? Or no, Meli, you can do it. I don't know. It was your opinion. I think we have a lot of things to argue over this. So I'm happy to see you. We lost some people as we transition to this
Hello.
one. I don't know why. Yeah, sacrifices must be made, I guess. Okay. So do you have anything to add to this question since you came here now?
Yeah, sure. Well, I kind of agree that it's. Um, I need to process the question first.
Okay.
I believe that it really contributes in that department because it's like it adds fun to the lesson, in my opinion. For example, one of our teachers uses quizzes in the lessons, which are, I believe, they are real fun. It kind of turns to a race when you say that you will be assessing students on that part, but I believe it also motivates them to really pay attention uh, to the subject in order to get a nice point in that quiz. So I believe it has advantages and disadvantages again, like almost everything. And I'm definitely in the middle part, but I'm definitely closer to the agreeing part in this situation.
Okay. Hakan, do you agree?
actually I didn't say, but to not to actually to some extent I disagree.
Oh,
Really, at the some. But
Oh.
I deliberately decided that when I disagree, you thought that I would do it deliberately, but I didn't. Suat said that he's in the middle, but I think that they're quite useful.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the difference that I disagree.
Yeah, that wasn't really a disagreement, but an additional comment, let's say. But yeah.
Baby.
Okay, anyone else wants to add into this question? Okay, I guess not. Everyone is bored of these games at this point. If any of my instructors see this video, I apologize. It's just a joke. My position in danger. Goodbye. Okay, so the next question is probably if you watched the webinar or if you didn't, it doesn't matter. It's about two different environments. One is called asynchronous and the other one is called synchronous. So the one with the A is basically the offline environment. The environment you have your education off your screen, not live. And the one with the S, the one on the right, is basically the live session, the ones we have on Percolus, if you are attending the lessons and not watching the archive lesson, that is. So these two have some differences. For an example, asynchronous is filled with homework to contribute to your learning outside the lesson, video lessons, everyone knows them by now. It has interactive links to grab your attention. I'm not sure if they are successful at it, who knows. Synchronous is basically having you and the teacher in the same environment, like a Twitch stream. Yay! But there are some complications anyway. Interaction, there's some interaction that you can in fact have with a chat box, some discussions, and if you are teaching younger learners, you can ask your learners to, have some kinesthetic tasks. Aydan Hocam had a webinar a while ago. For an example, she instructed her students to get up, walk around the room, open the window, etc. while teaching English. That's an example. Both of these environments have 2 points in common. They both track progress and they can assign pair or group work. Sorry. So the question here is, are asynchronous spaces efficient? That's the offline one. In our education, are we applying these to our education? If yes, is it working out? If not, why is it not? And that's a long one. You can take the question from any point you want. Oh no.
Yes, and we have
Thought
the
you
same
can.
smile. Don't worry.
Thought
But
you raise your hand.
Yes,
Yeah.
I saw Suat.
Yes, Suat, please.
Can you? Of course
Okay.
I can. Okay, let's go. There we go.
Asynchronous education is really a part of the education itself. Even though it's not online, we have some asynchronous parts in the education. We get homework, we get things that we need to be studying at our homes before attending to the lesson. So they should be exist in the online education as well. So and also I believe that they are necessary, but not as not as efficient especially in our field, in my opinion, in language learning, speaking, and being face to face with the educator is really a key part in learning that language. So in our parts, synchronous is much efficient in learning, but asynchronous is a must if you have to if you want to spend that limited synchronous time that you have with the students, because you cannot keep them like 3 hours a day in the class. Also, I wanted to add something to something you said, Berke. You said teachers are being like Twitch streamers. If this goes like this, if we become teachers and we end up giving online education, I'm definitely looking forward to see some poggers in the chat.
No. That's banned. Oh no. Okay, thank you, Swat. Well, I hope your students don't donate anything to you during the live session. All right. Okay, okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna switch to the speech. I am so distracted right now. Sorry, I wasn't expecting this question. But hey, we got some plans.
Mhm.
Yes, I saw your hand. Sorry. So yeah,
Yeah.
maybe we will. Yeah, go ahead.
Please
Yeah.
continue, please.
I was just gonna say maybe we will be Twitch streamers sooner than we anticipate. Who knows? Who knows?
24 hours to
Yeah.
stream.
Yeah.
24 hours session.
Okay.
I was going to say that some teachers are actually Twitch streamers. I have a teacher that I'm following in Instagram, and he regularly streams in Twitch.
Oh,
Uh,
Really?
Poggers.
yeah, he's an English teacher in Japan,
Oh,
uh, and he likes play games and ask questions in English and interacts with his students and stuff. It's actually really cool. I joined just one for 5 minutes or so, and it's actually quite nice to have a low stress ambience while learning.
Is he teach Japanese or just English?
No, he just teaches English.
Okay.
But as I understood from what Ezgi said, she would be interested in such a stream, right?
can I see a yes in the chat? Shut down, yes, everyone. I think that's quite interesting because during the lessons we would usually be a formal person who teaches. So outside the lessons we have another profile to present. So that's actually interesting. Huh?
Yeah.
Definitely. Pog. Okay.
And we're banned.
Yeah. This was our first and last academic event. Thank you, everyone.
But no, go ahead. Nothing.
Okay. Anyone else wants to comment on these two environments? Do you like
I
offline?
stayed silent for too long.
Yes, once again.
Yes.
May I go on?
Oh,
Yes.
Sorry.
You have
Okay,
a
it doesn't
challenger,
matter. I always speak. Sorry?
Yeah.
have a challenger.
Yes. Hakan, please be silent. Actually, in my opinion, I just gonna add that I agree with Swat in the point where he said asynchronous is a must, and synchronous is the way we stay social, I think. Because when we listen a teacher, you get what I am talking about right now. He speaks in a way that like he is in front of us, and we feel his behaviors in such he's very lively and he's very cheerful, and we feel he's being social, and with that we become motivated to the lesson, and with that again we afterwards we can watch the asynchronous, the archive lesson, and it becomes more efficient. Firstly, you watch the synchronous one, and after that, you watch the asynchronous one in order to study for your finals or midterms. I think they are very related to each other, asynchronous and desynchronous lessons.
okay.
Thank you.
There were a lot of sentences in a chain. I'm not sure where to focus on.
Actually, my point is 50-50. They are related to each other.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, Aka.
Yes.
Mr. Viewer. I'm sorry to say that I agree, but I had some opinions regarding. I think that, like Betül, they complement each other. They
Yes.
are like both of them are necessary. And Maria mentioned about a recipe.
Yeah.
I'm really think that about their how can I say quantity or
Percentage.
yes, two-thirds of free synchronous and one-third of free asynchronous. Also, the importance we put on synchronous. You know, we mentioned about tools. Also, Maria mentioned about the tools. Also, we can put the same importance on asynchronous because it's a place maybe out of teacher influence. The learners feel more open, more secure. So I am sorry to agree with you at this time.
That's new.
Like you said, no offense by the way, it's a joke of course.
No, I'm glad that you are agreeing with me. Someone is agreeing with me. I'm glad that because I'm not. I don't want to be like Berke alone in some kind of
Thank
discussion.
you. Thank you.
And also, I am scared to say I agree. Thanks to you guys.
No, please just say that you agree with someone. I think it's a good feeling to agree
Joke of
someone and
course,
being
yeah.
agreed with someone.
Yes, it's good.
Okay, should we proceed? We have 9 minutes left.
Yes.
How
And
many questions are there?
yeah, seems should we skip this one, my dear
Yeah,
moderator?
yeah, we already talked
Yes.
about
Yeah.
it, I think.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, was it the last one?
No.
Is
The
it
last
not?
one is the
One more
no.
question
We have one more.
after
Actually, we
the
can switch to the
this question.
Should we
yes.
just move
How
on to
can
the?
you use the assessment
Okay, no.
tool? I think maybe I don't know. Okay, let's talk about.
I mean, because the last question was the most creative one, and I
Yes, yeah,
think
Yes.
so. Okay, here goes. Hakan, do the
Yes.
finale.
This is the synthesis of all they have done for up to now. After the webinar and this discussion, we had so many things, as you said. We disagreed, we agreed, we had some conflicts, and we
Fight.
managed to put our opinions. Also, what is your understanding of assessment has changed according to what we speak and webinar? In your future teaching career, how will you assess? So we actually, this is like a synthesis of what you did in the both discussion and the webinar. And for us, it is the most important one, actually.
Yeah.
assignments
Anyone
are
else
bad,
volunteer?
and I won't assess my teacher in the future. Sorry, students in the future.
But that's
But
okay.
that's a lie. I'm not serious.
Guys, I would like to start.
Yes, Nuray?
Okay, you can go.
Firstly, I wouldn't use games for assessing. Instead of assessing, I would use it for fun, and if I had time for class to end. Secondly, I would definitely use the question formulation technique because I also think that it is one of the best ways to assess if the student really learned the topic. And also, how can I say that? The what was the previous thing? Asynchronous and synchronous? I couldn't pronounce it.
Okay, it's fine.
Both of them are very important in online education, and I will both use them with a combined. While using both of them, it we have to careful about because if I use one less, it will not okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Okay. Thank you, Nurayat.
Thank you.
So it seems question formulating technique has a fan now. And I'm glad it's not just me. Okay, anyone else?
Yes.
I think we need to speed up a little bit. Because
Okay,
there's a
okay,
video.
Okay, I cannot wait for too long, guys, you know.
Okay, just dive in, jump in.
Okay, actually, I have a point where Maria just mentioned in the presentation of ours. There are two questions for me. Who is my learner and what do I want them to achieve? With these two questions in mind, I think I would be planning on these two questions because I like the way she speak about these questions, because she said that we aim at creating independent, responsible, and thinking people. So I would probably assess my student in a way that I can create an environment where they can feel free, where they can feel safe, and where they can be understood, you know, because it is very important for us teachers to understand our students and in order to assess them. If we understand them, we would be teachers who are the stars in the eyes of our students, you know, because I am sure that you have your star teachers in your student career, you know. So I actually want to be the one in among them in the eyes of my students. But I would probably become a more relaxed and chill teacher, as Yasin mentioned.
Hey, thank you, Betül.
Yes, I thank you guys. You're welcome.
Okay, there's
Yes.
Hakan. We need to decide quickly: the video or the question. Up to you.
The questions are ended, but are there anyone else to speak about? So we have a surprise actually. Okay,
Okay.
Yasin, you? Sorry.
No. Let's
Okay.
go.
Okay,
Let's.
so we can go to our surprise. Sorry, by the way, Belki.
Okay.
Interrupted.
Hello, welcome again. GELTS is happy to present another project that can have positive implications for your academic improvement. Ready to discover what is in our store for you?
We are happy to launch GELTS Academic Discussion Platform. In this platform, you can read a myriad of academic topics both in the field of ELT and education. And in line with the chosen academic topics that our volunteer moderators will select, you can share your ideas, reflections, and brainstorm with your future colleagues via online meetings we will hold. All you need to do is to research on the chosen academic topics before the events and discuss them in our meetings. Also, you can post content related to our academic topics to our Notion page after the events publicly or anonymously. We will be pleased to see your content here and, as pre-service teachers, advance in our field collaboratively. For further information, you can visit our Notion page through the link posted below. Take care. Bye.
Okay, I can skip the outro because we have 1 minute 30 seconds left. So
Yes, I'm clapping.
So this is something our other lost warriors should have seen too. You know, for other people, it's fine. This is something big we are working on, and we were originally planning this to happen in December, but some delays happened. So we are going to do this in the second term, hopefully. So fingers crossed, good things are coming along. Now, in our last minute, I would like to switch to Turkish. Arkadaşlar katılan herkese teşekkür ederim. Keşke diğer arkadaşlara da.
You can also mention about the feedback thing.
Yeah.
I prepared a Padlet link.
Yeah, I'm going to Türkçe'ye geçeyim artık.
Okay.
Padlet linki paylaşacağım. Eğer bu projeyle ilgili feedback vermek isterseniz istediğiniz gibi verebilirsiniz ki biz de üzerinde çalışıp daha iyi bir şey hazırlayabilirim. Eksiklerimizi kapatabilelim. Katılan herkese teşekkür ediyorum. Katılıp bir ara kaybolan arkadaşlara da teşekkür ediyorum. Onlar da iyi ki geldiler. Hiç sorun değil. Muhtemelen etkinlik bu dönemin son etkinliğiydi. O yüzden finallerinizde başarılar diliyorum.
Ben de. Hepinize başarılar.
Teşekkür ederim
Bize
bu ana
başarılar.
kadar bizi yalnız bırakmadığınız için. Ama daha güzel şeyler ikinci dönemde bizi bekliyor artık diyebilirim. İştenlikle.
Umarız, hepimiz umarız. Çok güzel
Evet.
sizinle konuşmak, bir şeyler paylaşmak. Umarım
Kesinlikle.
yüz yüze de konuşuruz. Çok istiyorum. Çimenlere
Umarım.
yayılıp muhabbet edelim ya böyle.
Lütfen. İlk Eylül eventi. Gelsin
Evet.
otlara